All right, Monday night, we got 10 games that we're going to recap. Starting off in Detroit, the Pistons, without Cade Cunningham, won their fourth game in a row and ended the Lakers' 9-game winning streak, 113 to 110. Wrap it up. They won the East. Boston's not passing them. New York's not passing them. Donis Jenkins, career high, 30 points, 8 assists, 11 of 18 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3 in 39 minutes. He outplayed Luka Doncic in this game, folks. Absolutely incredible that he was on a two-way contract to start the year. Jalen Duren chipping in 20 points and 11 rebounds. In LA, end of the 9-game winning streak, Luka had his 16th technical rescinded and thus was not suspended and was active for this game. He was also the Western Conference Player of the Week coming into this one for the second week in a row. Fourth time winning the award this season, whereas MVP favorite Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has only won it 3 times. So at least on Lucas had bigger nights. Obviously, SGA not putting up as gaudy of numbers, given that he only has to play 3 quarters to get his team's wins. But Luka has just continued rolling. He had 32 points in this one. But on 11 of 29 from the field, not quite as efficient as Donis Jenkins. Hit as many shots, but he hit 11 shots, but took 11 more to get there. Was 3 of 13 from 3 in this one. Lakers as a whole, only 8 of 29 from 3. Austin Reeves, 24 points. LeBron, near triple-double, 12, 9, and 10, but suffered a finger injury during the game. Hopefully he was not going to have to miss any time for that, as the Lakers are fully healthy and heading into the playoffs in 2 weeks. Let's go on over to Indiana, where I went a little too far there. Indiana, they went too far. They ended their franchise record 16-game winning streak. 16-game losing streak, I should say. Sorry, woo. Well, for them, a win is a loss. Because they want to hold on to that number 1 seed in the lottery standings, which I believe this brings them back up to a tie with the Wizards. But they beat the Orlando Magic, who've now lost 5 in a row, 128 to 126. The Pacers, dare I say, played a normal game. I don't understand what happened. They played all their normal starters, minus Zubac, who's out for the year. Siakam had 37 points in 33 minutes, had the game-winning block in the fourth quarter. Yes, he actually played the fourth quarter in this game. Aaron Nesmith with 19 points, hit 5 threes, played 35 minutes. What's going on? Andrew Nebhard, 13 points, 14 assists, also played 35 minutes. Jarris Walker, 20 points in this one, played 33 minutes. Wow, where did this come from? If Indiana played all their guys all year long, they'd be in the same position as like the Chicago Bulls. They are not a 16 win team talent wise. They have just been manufacturing losses by holding guys out the entire year. And yes, they have had injuries as well, but not. They've definitely been a little bit strategic with when guys sit and when they don't. And just this game is just a prime example that if they played all their guys at once, they would actually be a pretty decent team. Orlando, the bottom has fallen out for them. They lost their 5th in a row. Don't forget, this is on the heels of a 7-game winning streak, so they've just completely lost all of their momentum. Paolo Banchero had a season high, 39 points, but once again lost another game in the clutch. He got blocked by Siakam on a drive on the final possession to essentially seal the loss. Got double blocked clean at the rim by Siakam and Jay Huff, like he drove into a double team and then was looking around helpless on the floor, like, oh, I got fouled. No, did not get fouled. Nobody touched him. Yeah, so it's been a struggle for him. I think that he might end up being like a one-time All-Star type of player, as it seems like, at least with it doesn't feel like Jamal Mosley is the right guy for the job. He's not good enough offensively to really build a cohesive offensive unit with these guys. Just to remember when Taylor Jenkins and Michael Malone got fired right before the playoffs last season. Keep an eye on Jamal Mosley. I'm getting similar vibes with the direction that the team is going right now. Just very desultory loss. Definitely the worst loss of the season for the team, given everything that's at stake. They're eighth place in the playoffs, and they had a bunny win against the worst team in the NBA record-wise, and they just were not able to get it done. Who has been getting it done? The San Antonio Spurs, who they also dispatched a Florida team, 136 to 111 over the Heat. They got their 54th win of the season. Wemby, 26-15, 5 blocks, just continuing to play at an MVP caliber level. Steph Castle making his return. Devin Vassell back in the lineup as well. Castle, 19-7-6. Harper and Harrison Barnes moving back to the bench. Harper with 21 points, 6 assists, 9-14 from the field. Tied his career high with 3 triples, so he's definitely been on a roll. Maybe goes up to 81 by the time the season is ending, or over, I should say, English. Miami, they got all their guys back. Wiggins, Powell, and Hawkes all returned for this pivotal matchup, but they only shot 40% from the field, just not really enough in the half court star power-wise to really dominate a Wembanyama team. Powell led the way with 21 off the bench. Bam and Hero had 18 each, but they weren't very efficient. Wiggins, 9 points in 20 minutes. He was on a restriction. They were not able to get it done. But let's check out the OKC Thunder, who they kept pace with the Spurs. And Jalen Williams made his triumphant return to the lineup as OKC won their 12th game in a row. The 6th game of the year where all 5 starters were healthy. I guess, wow, I got to get Lou Dort back in there. I guess we got a forced non-starter on Casey Wallace. There we go. Alrighty, Jalen with 18 points in 20 minutes. Obviously, minutes restriction, but they also didn't need it as they blew out the Sixers. Didn't write down the score, but they blew them out by 20, 22, something like that. SGA, 22 points. Jared McCain made his return to Philly, had 13 points in 25 minutes off the bench. AJ Mitchell was suspended for this one, so McCain did get a little extra run even with all of the starters fully healthy. We'll see what happens once Mitchell comes back. Philly, it was a big game for VJ Edgecombe. He had to do everything offensively as everybody else was sitting this game out. Quentin Grimes missed this game. So actually, Marjan Beauchamp was the starting 2-guard. He was a little overmatched in that, but VJ, 35 points, 14 of 28 from the field, 7 of 15 from 3, the second highest scoring output of his career. He had 38 against the Kings just 4 days ago. So this game, much more impressive than the Kings game, considering the opponent and the situation. So I'm sure that VJ is probably going to go up a little bit in rating. I don't read too much into we've been in silly season for like 3 weeks now, if not more, in the NBA. So a lot of these lines you kind of have to take with a grain of salt. But dropping 35 points against the defending champs, I think that's a little legit. Marjan Beauchamp, he was overmatched. 13 points, 5 of 18 from the field, 5 turnovers in 32 minutes. I mean, he did his best against the defending champs, but obviously it was a very tall task. I think it's his first start since he was a rookie, if memory serves, like 4 years ago. So he's played pretty well on a 2-way contract for the Sixers, but certainly this was not his night. He's probably going to be more of like a 10th man on a team next year in the NBA. But yeah, Beauchamp, solid so far. The Sixers right now are basically the Warriors of the Eastern Conference. Like, all their top guys are basically healthy, so they have to assemble like bench player lineups right now, and they're also in the eighth place, fell into 8th place due to injuries, and they're in the play-in mix. Dom Barlow was able to gut it out for 19 minutes in this one. He sprained his ankle 4 minutes into the previous game, so he was probably on a minutes restriction as well. Which, again, that's how banged up Philly is right now. Paul George, this was the 25th game of his suspension, so He should be back on Wednesday. We'll see how long George can hold up before he joins the rest of the starters on the sidelines. Obviously, even when he's not suspended and not the most durable player in the NBA. Going to the Hawks. Speaking of hopelessly injured teams, the Grizzlies lost to the Hawks by 39 points in a game where Jalen Johnson did not play, by the way. 146 to 107. Nickeil Alexander-Walker with 26. Jonathan Kuminga had a bounce back, had a nightmare against the Warriors, but against the Grizz, 16 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. Moguet continues to start over him, but he only had 3 points in this one. So heading over to the Grizz, what can we really say about them? Geez. G.G. Jackson had 26. Ty Jerome had 17. Walter Clayton Jr. had 16. Came off the bench in this one. They started Jerome, Wells, Rupert, Jackson, and Omax Prosper. Tyler Burton, who's not pictured here because I'm not adding hardship contract guys to the roster. 20 points in 29 minutes. Another big scoring game for the hardship player. He could end up on a standard contract at some point. We'll see. But he's been pretty good. I mean, in relatively speaking, again, it's silly season. These guys are just, somebody's got to put up points in an NBA game. Somebody's got to take shots. And obviously they lost by 40 points, so it's not like he contributed anything remotely close to winning. It's just a glorified G League game is basically what this is. Houston. Oh, man. Alperen Şengün with 33 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists. Kevin Durant with 40 points. And they lost to the Bulls, 132 to 124. Why? Well, Reed Sheppard, he boosts the offense, but the reason why the Rockets have been reluctant to go to him in the starting lineup is because Sheppard, KD, and Şengün, the entire year, obviously Sheppard not starting most of the year, when they go to those lineups, when he comes in off the bench, the defense just really isn't there. Sheppard, KD, and Şengün, they're just too many. It's too many offense first guys who don't play defense. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else. They're so flawed offensively because they don't have, or not offensively, just the Fred VanVleet injury just really derailed this team because they don't have a point guard, and the Steven Adams injury means they don't have another center that they can really go to besides Şengün. I mean, Şengün at various points, he made the All-Star team this year, but he's been so bad, aside from this game, since then, that I honestly, maybe they should have been starting Adams over Şengün. Maybe, and then treat Şengün as like a super six man. But I mean, egos in the NBA, like Şengün would be despondent if he did that. It's KD as a 37-year-old first option, Şengün as I kind of liken this to like the New York Knicks with they have Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, right? But then they surround them with 3 quality defensive players. It's like if KD, he's a 37-year-old first option, so he can't do much on defense. Imagine if he was OG Anunoby instead, or even like Mikal Bridges or anybody else. I think that would probably be a better fit for the Rockets. Or I guess Dylan Brooks. Remember him? That might be. They might have cashed out their Dylan Brooks stock a little early based on how the up and down season that the Rockets have had so far this season. Amen Thompson and Jabari Smith Jr. It's 2 guys trying to plug all the holes on defense, and it's just not it's not working. And if anything, the Rockets are a team where they need their defense to turn into offense, because even with Reed Sheppard out, they're still not like a great half-court offensive team or anything like that. But going to the Bulls, quick notes on them. Sexton led the way off the bench with 25 points. Miles Buzelis with 23. Josh Giddey with 15, 7, and 13. Let's go all the way back to the Toronto Raptors. They beat the, I got to scroll down, Utah Jazz. Oh my God, the G League Jazz. 143 to 127. Emmanuel Quickley, Brandon Ingram, Jakob Poeltl sat this one out, and it did not matter. The Raptors shot 61% against the G League Jazz while missing 3 starters. Just incredible. RJ Barrett, 27 points. Mamu, 23 points in a spot start. Jacoby Walter with 21 in a spot start. Scotty Barnes with 20 points and 10 assists. Jamal Shed with 14 assists himself, also adding 7 points in his start. Colin Murray-Boyles made his return. He was high impact off the bench. 9 points, 5 blocks in only 17 minutes. And then Markelle Fultz made his debut with the Raptors. 2 points, 5 assists, 2 steals. 1 for 5 from the field, 16 minutes. Very Killian Hayes-esque performance, but solid. That's a solid third-string point guard. You know, the Toronto Raptors definitely need another guard. I don't know what Garrett Temple's been doing on the roster the entire year, aside from just wasting space. But yeah, I don't really have too many other notes on this this game. The fucking Jazz, man. Ace Bailey with 37 points, 7 of 10 from 3. Bryce Sensabaugh was back, had 24 points off the bench. What else is there? I don't want to talk about anything else with this team. They're starting. This is their starting guards. Bez Mebeng, Elijah Harkless. Those guys combined for 12 points in like 64 minutes. And then John Conchar. Yeah, what are we fucking doing? I don't know. Going to the Golden State Warriors. They beat the Mavericks 137-131 in overtime. But the bigger story, and probably the biggest story of the day, is Moses Moody suffered a significant knee injury in this game. It's probably the most gruesome knee injury that I've ever seen. Warriors fans should be familiar with Sean Livingston. This is about as bad looking as Sean Livingston's injury. Not the same type of injury, but like with 58 seconds left in overtime, Moody went up for a layup and his knee like buckled underneath him. It was a non-contact play, and like his knee was like popping out of its socket. Like it I've never seen a knee that looked like that. He had to be stretchered off. Just absolutely devastating for him and the team. Obviously, this is going to end the season. It might knock him out for all of next year as well. That would not be at all surprising to me. And the Warriors, they're already without Jimmy Butler with the torn ACL for most of next season. So, oh man, it certainly seems like the Curry era is ending with a major whimper. Now, this was actually Moody's first game back in the lineup after missing 10 games with a sprained wrist. So he got hurt. Yeah, he got hurt with 58 seconds left in overtime. They won the game, but it definitely didn't feel like a win. They definitely lost the war tonight. He did lead the team in scoring with 23 points, so he had an awesome game. Just like a really shitty situation overall. Kristaps Porzingis had 22 points in a start. Next to Draymond Green, and this is the healthiest the Warriors have been in quite a while. Guy Santos moved back to the bench to make room for Moody in the starting lineup, but it looks like he's going to be the starter again, probably just for the foreseeable future now. Really, really shitty situation. I'll follow up once we get confirmation on the severity of the injury and what the diagnosis is. But oh man, Dallas. Cooper Flagg led the way with 32 points and 9 assists. Again, they're going with him at point guard. Najee Marshall with 16 and 7 assists. Daniel Gafford had 20 points, 8 of 8 from the field. So solid line for him against Porzingis. Klay Thompson, 15 points, 5 threes. Obviously matched up against his former team. You just have to wonder what was going through his head watching a Warriors shooting guard go down with that type of knee injury. Obviously, Klay Thompson had a torn Achilles and a torn ACL while playing for the Golden State Warriors. Although those didn't happen in game, if I recall. Maybe the Achilles did. I can't quite recall. But yeah, the Achilles did, but the ACL happened when he was working out while recovering from the Achilles, if memory serves. Portland, they beat the Brooklyn Jazz 134-99. Tamani Kamara, career high, 35 points, 9 of 11 from 3. Denny Avdia only played 20 minutes because they didn't need him for anything more than that. He had 18 points. The Brooklyn Jazz, 8-game losing streak for them. This was their starting lineup. There's nothing to talk about, guys. This is a fucking joke. Tyson Etienne led the team in scoring with 18. We're just going to move on to the LA Clippers, who moved back to 500, taking down the Milwaukee Bucks 129-96. Another 35-point blowout. Kawhi 28, Kobe Sanders 19 off the bench, one short of his career high. There's so many non-NBA teams right now that you just can't really get excited over any of these lines because the context is like they're not. Kobe Sanders is playing like 5 guys who are worse than him. when like that's how bad the Nets are right now. The Bucks. Well, I'm getting all crisscrossed, but the Bucks honestly not that much better. They started Ryan Rollins, Ousmane Dieng, Taurean Prince. Kuzma was out for this one. Okay, I gotta take him out. Sims and Miles Turner, and they got crushed out of the gate. Gary Trent Jr. led the way in scoring with 20 points in extended garbage time. Really, the big news out of Milwaukee is they waived Cam Thomas and converted Pete Nance to a multi-year deal. A lot of factors went against Cam Thomas in Milwaukee. Namely, I came up with like 6 things. Namely, the biggest one, probably post-deadline, is Ousmane Dieng actually ended up being really good, and they are starting him at shooting guard. Taurean Prince also returned from his season-ending neck injury, what was supposed to be a season-ending neck injury. And he's now starting for the team. He was basically, Cam was seeing a lot of minutes as like, they just have a bunch of guards. So like they've been running like 2 shooting guard lineups. Now they have an actual small forward available. So they stopped running Cam Thomas in these double shooting guard lineups. So they had Dieng and Prince. They just picked up a lot more size on the perimeter. And the team, they were just loaded with shooting guards in general. They're starting 2 shooting guards most of the season with Kevin Porter Jr. and Ryan Rollins and AJ Green. They also have Gary Harris and Gary Trent Jr. on this team, both of whom have player options, by the way. So they're going to be back because they haven't established like they would be minimum salary players if they hit the free agent market. So they're going to pick up those options. So there was never really a future for Thomas in Milwaukee. He was more or less just a gamble and a hired gun to see if he could help them make the play-in. And now they are. He was a complete non-factor in that regard as they've continued to lose, whether or not he's playing or not. He had a couple games at the start that were high scoring, but then most of the time he just was very inefficient. Could be the end for him. I don't know. I mean, hey, listen, Markelle Fultz signed a contract. So, I mean, Cam Thomas has not played his last NBA game, but his odds of making more than the minimum on any future deal, like exponentially low. I don't know who's going to sign him. He would, in theory, make a lot of sense on these teams like the Utah Jazz or the fucking Net. I mean, he can't even re-sign with the Nets. The Nets are not going to bring him back. He already burned out his welcome there. And then, a team like the Wizards are not really going to be looking at him long term. I mean, God forbid, like the idea of him playing next to Trae Young. Oh my God. We're going to move on. Is there any other team that like he actually makes sense on? Like the Pelicans wouldn't do it when they have Jordan Poole. There we go. Sacramento. All right, so he's going to take DeMar DeRozan's place on the roster next season. Maybe they trade Malik Monk. or Zach LaVine, or they just sign Cam Thomas to play with those guys. That would be a very Kings thing. Okay, yeah, I'm putting. Let's go to Vegas, baby. Cam Thomas, you're a Sacramento King. Do they even have room on the roster to do it this season? No, they don't, but maybe they can cut somebody. Yeah, cut loose Doug McDermott and sign Cam Thomas. Let's fucking go. Um, yeah, let's fucking go out of here. Let's go home. Thanks, guys, for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, a much more riveting lineup of games tomorrow. Sucks about Moses Moody. I will see you guys tomorrow then. Peace.